Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is Todd, Southern Sipper, coming to you from the back patio once again. And fall is in the air, children. Not complaining. It's about friggin' time. Of course, you do this every year. You know, you get to the point where you just had a belly full of heat. You know, and then weather gets pleasant. Of course, when you live where I live, the weather's pleasant for about a week. And then it's winter, and then it'll be fake summer, and then it's winter, and then it's fake summer again, and then it's just summer. That's the way we work here. But you know, right now this is some Chamber of Commerce stuff. Just cool enough, had to get out a little wrap, you know, so I didn't get a little chill sitting out here doing this review. Now, what are we reviewing today? Coffee oatmeal stout from Good People Brewing. Good People Brewing is located in Birmingham, Alabama. This particular offering, it is a coffee oatmeal stout. Generally speaking, I love plain oatmeal stouts. I think they're fantastic. I can't think of a bad oatmeal stout I've ever had. I was kind of over the coffee stout thing a long while back, but I complain about that on the channel all the time. Just good stouts are it's so difficult for me to find them right now. Now granted, I've been in a rut, been going to the same damn place every time I go to the store, so what I'm going to have to do is venture out and hit what I know are some really good beer stores in the area, but it's such a pain in the ass to get to, for me anyway. Now this one just smells, there's not a lot happening, you know, on the nose. It smells like a pretty plain old beer. Now this particular beer, they say it has a wallop of coffee and a punch of Willamette hops. It also has, it's got two hops, but Willamette, Columbus and Willamette. And it is 5.7% ABV, 51.2 IBUs. I don't think I'm falling for that. I think it's a little less. That number was throwing me off a little bit because I prefer my stouts to be, you know, stout-like, for lack of a better word. You know, I don't like stouts that bitter up like a damn IPA. I'm trying to think if you know, the favorites that I can still lay my hands on occasion, I suspect if I venture out to Cottage Hill Package out that way, which is West Mobile, I could probably find Left Hand Milk Stout. They brewed up in Colorado. Love that thing. It used to be one brewed in Manhattan, Kansas. It's still to this day, it's probably the best stout I've ever had. It was called Buffalo Sweat, brewed by Tallgrass Brewing, but Tallgrass went the way of the dodo. I'm afraid. I believe the last time I, just for whatever reason, looked, I probably looked it up because me and my son, who also loved that beer, were lamenting our woes about it. I probably just looked it up just for fun, and I believe they still have it, or they did at that point, but that's been a couple years ago. I had a tap house that was running, but as far as bottling and canning goes and distribution off site, those days I had left them behind. Now, just for grins, just so you believe me, it does say right here on the can, beer for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now, this particular coffee oatmeal stout is very good. It claimed a wallop of coffee. It does not have a wallop of coffee. It is just a touch. I do love a stout that has coffee notes that are in there, by default from, the dark roasted malts and not from an adjunct dose of coffee. You understand? And the oatmeal adds a little bit of a silky mouth feel, just a little body to the overall texture of the beer, and I like that. I like that a lot. I really like this beer a lot. And which is kind of a win-win for me, because it's brewed within the state. And when I was in Charleston, I really did pride myself on drinking local as much as I could. It was easy there, man. I mean, it was easy up there because there's 30 damn breweries. Couldn't swing a dead cat without hitting a brewery. Here, I don't have that luxury. There's 3 right around the corner from me that, to be truthful about it, I don't hit often enough. I'm always squawking about, go see your local breweries. Always go see your local breweries, and guess what? I don't do it. I need to. Now, the biggest reason I don't is because Mrs. Sipper hates beer. That's just to put it mildly. Oh, good grief. That's just a pleasant find. I'm not even going to lie to you. Yeah, Mrs. Sipper don't care about beer at all. And the breweries here don't sell no cocktails nor mixed drinks. They have, one of them has some seltzers and, a wine. And I don't think the other one the other one doesn't even have that. So, just to be, because I don't want to drag her over there for her to just sit there and look at my old ugly ass drink beer. I just kind of bypass it, but on occasion, I'll get in the mood and just say, hey, look, mind if I sit down and have a couple of beers? And she will always accommodate. Don't get me wrong. I choose not to, drag her in there for no reason. But matter of fact, she drugged it. She picked me up a 6-pack because during this stretch of this run of bad freaking days at work, tried to make me feel better, and this was in that. And this is a winner. This is an absolute winner for me. I mean, you could look. The head is leaving rings. That's always a pleasant sight. I forget what the numbers was. 4 rings, 5 rings. If you're drinking Guinness and you want to get all traditional about it. Now this one was pushed with CO2, and it did have a nice creamy head that did remind me a bit of a nitrogen pushed ale. But aside from drinking a stout, when I'm out at a good pub or in a bar, I prefer beer pushed with CO2. Left hand, even their milk stout, they kind of, in the store, I see more and more of the nitrogen pushed and less of the CO2, and I really do just prefer the CO2 version. This particular one, now the Willamette hops, Columbus hops, whichever, they're present on the finish, but it's really light. It's just right. I mean, you want a little bit of that bitter to cut through the sweetness of this. This is it doesn't say it. I mean, it's an oatmeal stout, but this is a sweet stout. You could almost mistake this for a milk stout. And like I mentioned, the coffee I'm really not even picking up much coffee at all. And that, for me, that's a good thing. I don't find it unpleasant when it's in there, but I kind of got over it a long while back because so many of the breweries had just kind of fallen into that rut coffee stout, you know, and chocolate stout, same thing. And they just overdid it, you know. Just because you put more coffee in it or more, it didn't make it better, you know. I say the same thing about IPAs. Just because you pour more hops in it does not make it necessarily better. But this one is really well done. Good job, Good People. Good People makes a couple of nice beers. I've reviewed 2 or 3 others from them, and I'm not sure that I've had a bad one. And apparently, according to their website, their IPA is the best seller in the state. Not sure I've had them. They make one called a Snake Handler, I believe. Had that one's pretty good because, you know, it's higher up in the ABV world, and that's the ones I like because they do have a bit of a maltier backbone. I'm going to sit here and polish this one off before I finish rambling. This is just super good. And you know, at 5.7%, it's pretty crushable. It's pretty sessionable, as we like to say, quaffable. It's just really good. There's been a couple of late real treats that I have found doing these reviews. That's why I keep doing them. You know, it gives me an excuse to buy beer I wouldn't normally even go get. And every once in a while, you find that gem, you know, and that's what keeps me pounding these reviews out. But I'm about done with this beer. I think I've probably covered all my bases on it. So it's going to hopefully be a busy week of reviews. I got good weather all week. You know, when I get home from work the rest of the week, and you know, I don't expect to have to do an awful lot when I get home, so I really hope to kind of really pound down a bunch of them. Even you know, a Delta review and a couple of beer reviews is what I'm hoping for. I've already done a Delta seltzer. I just got to get that one edited and uploaded. It'll come out before this one. But anyway, that's it for that. It's already getting, I mean, the days are getting shorter. Fall is here, kids. So with all that being said, please like and subscribe, and leave a comment. Always like your comments. And enjoy your malted beverages responsibly.